Hey Soul Babes, welcome to the Essence Podcast. I'm your host, Riss, and in this podcast, I love to dive into the world of holistic wellness, creativity, and spirituality. You can see me as your intuitive bestie here to help you gain the tools you need to unravel your story, to begin this path down self-mastery towards accepting yourself, loving yourself, being yourself, and expressing yourself from the core. This is what Essence is all about. It's all about you becoming you, regaining the tools you need to get back on your beautiful horse and ride it to the sunset, ride it to the wheels fall off. Your horse is tired. You've accomplished so much that you feel content with your life. This is what the Essence Podcast is all about, honey. And through the lens of what I share through my story, I hope that it feeds you life and helps you reflect and helps give you vitality and awareness and integrity on the idea that our mind is always changing. We are not really set in this is it. We are constantly growing and evolving. Once we think we know something, guess what? There's always something else to learn. There's always something else to indulge in and figure out about yourself. Your creativity of what you're asking for and bringing in has the evolution to grow some more. It will take you to certain heights that you've yet to explore. So if you are here and you have this seed, you have this vision, if you have yet to start taking steps towards what you are calling in from a heart center, what you feel you are to live your life as, and have yet to do so, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy that you showed up to listen to this podcast because this is it, honey. This is the journey of just showing up and knowing that these breadcrumbs that life gives us is what's going to help us change and tweak our mindset. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode. Grab your crystals, grab your water, your tea, your matcha, and I hope you enjoy.
In your divine essence, you shine. In your divine essence, you thrive. I'm your host, Riss, and you're listening to Essence Podcast.
For this week, I do want to start off with sharing that I did happen to have my beautiful event, the Summer Somatics healing event, and that was a beautiful success. And it felt so good to step into the driver's seat of my life and actually lead. I was actually co-hosting this event with my beautiful partner, my beautiful soul sister, Jennifer, which I have yet to bring her on this podcast, but us working together and holding space for the collective, there was 13 beautiful souls that joined in, and we did some somatic stretches. In the event, I actually had this portion in the beginning where I was helping them open up their chakras and really getting grounded where they're at. So I did a whole technique where they intentionally were channeling in from the root and moving through each chakra, opening it up from the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown. And they were almost like massaging their own energy, like really tuning in as if they were opening up a faucet. And that intention really felt so yummy to share because it was like they were actually getting in tune with themselves. Like, I'm a really big advocate also on energy, and for them to be able to learn how to like really hone in and enhance their own, like turn on their own faucet of energy, it felt nice for them to like actually get up and boost into this place of like, okay, they're flowing and they're grounding. So we did a beautiful sequence of somatic stretches, and that was included. And then we also went into ecstatic dance, and ecstatic dance was so fun because ecstatic dance is like you do your own thing and there's no like choreography or anything. You just move how you want to. But it's the intention that I was showing up with was like helping them pretty much manifest what summer would feel like and look like through the dancing. because we manifest from the here and now. We manifest with our thoughts that we're feeding life with, and that becomes what we see in our future. And so what was going on in the dancing was really just them feeding their future with what they feel called to see in their future by dancing. And so then we moved into a breathwork sequence that Jennifer led, and it was amazing because I mean, in the meantime, I didn't participate in the breathwork. I was actually making the cacao for the first time. So I was in the kitchen whipping it up in the pot, and I'm going to bring Jennifer on here so we can have another talk about breathwork, because breathwork is such a beautiful tool that everyone can use. We all breathe, but to take your breathing technique just a bit further to see that it could actually help you release stagnant energy that gets stuck, because we don't breathe in certain moments, right? Like we kind of fight or flight our way through stressful situations or situations where we feel like anxious or stressful, or it just feels very hard to breathe in. Breath work, it like helps move that energy, because we actually need to breathe in every situation. Breathing, it gives us a sense of like, okay, we are stable and anchored and we're safe. Like we have to continue to remind ourselves, because our survival brain, our survival instincts will start to turn on, and we feel like we need to hold and tense up and hold it in. And so through the breath work, it allows us to bring out that like purging of just energy that is just stuck and stagnant. So it was a beautiful time to had witnessed, just even while making cacao, everyone release, and then offering cacao at the end was even just that cherry on top to like, yes, let's do this. Let's have them open their hearts even more, because that's what cacao does. It is an ancient practice, a ceremony. Being able to hold space in that light was amazing. I had a great time. There was also an altar, and we also did a little blessing at the end, and we closed up the chakras just how we started, and they conserved their energy. They took it home with them, everything that they learned, and it was a beautiful moment.
Have you been feeling the call to go in deeper into your essence? The Essence community is now live, a sacred place to connect, grow, and realign with your truth. It's a supportive online gathering where you can move, breathe, and explore your inner world alongside like-minded souls. Every Wednesday evening, we come together for a live dance and meditation class, a midweek reset to awaken the body, balance your energy, and feel fully present. Because when you're in your essence, balanced and aligned, you create from a place of unlimited self-expression. You begin to receive clarity on where your soul is guiding you. You feel safe to express your emotions, explore your inner world, and rise with intention. This is where clarity meets creativity, where self-discovery becomes embodied. As a member of Essence Community, you'll receive weekly live dance and meditation classes, curated mixes to help you move and regulate the nervous system, guided meditations, rituals for moon cycles, and you'll also have early access to community events and offerings. You can also drop in for a single class, but if you're ready to go in deeper, the membership is where the magic really builds. Click the link in the description and join me in the circle. Your essence is welcome here.
We are humans that love to please one another. We have a soul, we have empathy, and we have this place of giving and receiving. And sometimes we become so embedded with another person, or just with our family member or our community, that sometimes when it's something that's a little bit odd or different or really uncharted territory, unknown of, we start to kind of lose the idea of like, am I supposed to be watering this stream? Am I supposed to be doing something else? You know, it's very common that we get lost on what we're doing and what we're saying and what we are sharing or what we're passionate about. This goes into just me sharing this beautiful example of going to my little cousin's 16th birthday. He is a beautiful musician that has so much talent. He has indulged in being a guitarist. He plays the guitar, and he also is a drummer. And I've been to 2 of his competitions. I try to go once a year to his band competitions, and he's phenomenal. Like, I personally am like, wow, he's really showing up for his craft, and wow, his parents are really actually investing and seeing that he can do this. Like, he is gifted and talented, and his little brother is as well. Like, I truly see them as like really beautiful gems that get to be watered and get to be taken care of because their mom and dad are that stable enough to really see them pursue their dreams. However, I did feel there was like some sort of limitation that really got to me, in a way that is why I'm sharing this. I didn't directly have the conversation. I was just there in the same room. But my boyfriend and my little cousin had a conversation. They were talking about music, and my boyfriend is a musician himself. He produces his own music, but he also co-produces and he raps, and he also is a drummer himself, and he's just a beautiful, well-rounded person. That's why his artist name is Variety, because he's always indulging in something that has to do with music and allowing them to intermingle together, the different sounds and the different ways to create a song and an album. And so he himself sees that him as a musician, as an artist, my boyfriend, that he is that person. That is his career. That is what he's working through and working on. And he is very open about it, that that is what he does and what he loves. And that's what I love about him. And I think that's why we're together, because he is in his essence. Like, he is radiating in this place of like, this is my truth. This is what I love to do. And this is who I am. And my music is my music. It might be different, but it's mine. So that is the beauty of what my boyfriend carries. And so in this conversation that he was having with my little cousin, he was giving him pointers on how to record his own music. My grandma is so beautiful and has a kind heart to gift him an instrument that can help him record his music in a software. So she pretty much is gifting him this whole thing, and I'm so happy for him because he's going to start creating his own music and start actually recording. But however, what I got caught off guard with was the intention that he actually sees himself pursuing a career that I believe is an engineer, if I recall. And in hearing this, I was kind of like, oh, interesting. And the reason why he chooses to want to do this is because it makes money. It is going to make him a lot more successful, per se, within the money aspect of things. And I was kind of like, okay, like, that's interesting. Although knowing that a lot of what he is passionate about, what he spends most of his days doing, actually is drumming, playing the guitar, and indulging in that way. There's nothing wrong with him being an engineer. Like, totally do what you be well-rounded. I am an advocate for well-roundedness and creating in many different ways because it makes you who you are, you know? But at the same time, I was kind of like reflecting on just a bit of a limited belief he might be having. I then heard later on in that beautiful day of celebrating my little cousin, I heard my aunt speak with my boyfriend, and she also indulged in like, oh, you're a musician and you actually make music yourself and like you have that as a hobby. And for my boyfriend, his response was, well, actually, it's my career. Like, making music and being a musician is my career. And my actual day job is my side hustle. That is actually what I do to make money and a living. But I actually am an artist. Like, that is my achievement, and my goal is to be an artist. And I honestly was like, wow, okay. I'm kind of happy he said that. I'm actually really happy he said that, because that is really the intention and the mentality that we as artists are to have. I feel what is being a projection of what I seen, because my aunt is obviously related to my family. She's my mom's sister, and like, I come from that same line of thought and consciousness that we all were embedded with. Like, she's part of my family tree and my roots. And so what I'm seeing is that my ancestors, I am so blessed to have them, and I'm so blessed that they made the foundation that they did. My grandparents, who helped build this beautiful life that I get to indulge and live in, that I also get to heal and also get to create in. I am so grateful for my parents doing the best that they could to show up for themselves, but also because of their own freedom that they were given to roam around and be who they wanted to be and indulge in some way, shape, or form what they wanted to do, to a certain extent with the mindset that they were given. Then it was given to me that I get to carry this baton on of like freedom and liberation, but now to be a creator, to get back into this place of spirit, of this place of like what really feels like a true calling for me. And I've shared this. I've shared along the way that my journey has been about creativity. It's been about the arts. It's been about the way that I get to show up, and what I love and what pleasures me and what becomes my passion is dancing, is being in the feminine, is creating with my hands. And also what I found out down the road of what I love to do before I even knew I wanted to do exactly this, of like actually indulging in spirituality and holistic wellness and creativity in all shapes. I also really did find out that before I knew what that looked like, I was also indulging in film. I went to college with the intention that I was going to be a film director. I really had high hopes that I was going to be a film director until I get into the actual field, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's going to take some time. I'm going to have to like mold myself into this beingness of like structure, a lot of like you work your way up to the top. It's who you know, and that's really beautiful in some way, shape, or form for a person that wants to actually stay in the field. But for myself, I was starting to shift my lens, because that mentality did serve me to some point, because it allowed me to actually get to college and believe that I could be a director and lead. That's essentially what the directing title was for me. It was like this place of like, I get to direct this, like lead this project, and it's my vision. That was more of the intention I had, and I thought I could implement in my own way, in a big way. But things change. Then you start to realize the reality of things and how they're really molded and shaped. Then that led into me going out of college, and I'm kind of like, oh, actually, I think, well, before I went out of college, I started to notice that, oh, maybe I can get into art directing. I did a few gigs with art directing, and I actually found that I liked it a lot better. However, it was still a bit like, yeah, this fine line of actually working in the film industry was not exactly what was tickling my fancy. I wasn't actually fully like, I don't know. Like, there's something still about it that I've yet to like see what else is out there. Then that led into mysteriously me being offered to work as a social media marketing manager at a cannabis dispensary that was actually ran by my boyfriend's dad. And I'm glad I was able to get the job, because I was still like in limbo of like, what the hell am I doing? But in the meantime, it allowed me to see like, okay, I actually want to get into this creative aspect. And it gave me more of that creative leeway where I get to be the manager of it. And I was taking on not just only like posting the photos and getting into the marketing aspect, but I was actually like the coordinator, like coordinating events as well as photo shoots, getting these products together and these brands noticed within our shop and like collaborating. And that opened another door of like, ooh, I really enjoy this. Like, this is actually really fun. And there's, of course, other things where I was like, it's not really my thing. First and foremost, I don't even like smoke. It's very rare if I do. It's not my cup of tea. But I still went with it because there was still like an aspect of creativity that I was able to indulge in. And I was so grateful for it. But anyways, that didn't obviously last too long because the pandemic happened. A lot of complications happened at that job. So I ended up taking my break to be where I'm at and to indulge in this place of figuring out where I want to go next. But what I'm tying this into is the idea of like, I understand where my cousin's at, of like wanting to be successful, wanting to be in this place of like, I got to choose something that's going to make money and help me survive. Because we've been taught that creativity, that art doesn't pay the bills. This is something that I learned from The Artist's Way. If you have not read it, it is a beautiful book that I am so very inspired by all the time. Julia Cameron, she is the author of the book. And what she covers is exactly that, is exactly the wound that I've been healing from, is that art cannot make money, that we just can't survive off of our art. And that it will probably be a messy place of like us constantly feeding something that doesn't feed us back. But that is also a very limited expectation. What I was talking to my boyfriend about while we were kind of addressing the situation, because we're both artists and obviously we're both a couple and we talk amongst what we feel and what we go through. And what I noticed was like, I think my little cousin's being fed this sort of block that I was given of money equals success. Success equals money. And to be successful and to pretty much survive, you need to make money and put the hobby of the art to the side until you have yet to pay for it. And I feel that is a limiting belief because even as myself being a 30-year-old, I personally would have loved if I had just known that I could be who I am and really indulge in that place with the support team of both of my parents. If I had a perfect world and a perfect family and this perfection of life, then ideally I would be a lot further with confidence, at least, that I can make money off of my arts, off of all of my creative projects, off of anything that I do, right? Like that would be the perfect world. But of course, we live in a world where it's not perfect, and that is okay. And my journey is mine, so I am very happy and grateful for it. But I do see that my little cousin, who has worked his little butt off since so long, strumming his fingers on the guitar, drumming away, putting in those hours, that he has the potential to create a life that is aligned with him taking on gigs that can make him money out of his passion. And not just in this place of seeing that success does not equal his art. It should be just as valuable as him seeing that engineering equals success. His art equals success. That is the mentality that I'm seeing for myself through a wider lens of creativity that he has the potential to pursue. So that really felt really close to my heart to like notice as I continue to be an advocate for creativity, and knowing that that limitation has yet to change within my family dynamic, because he's really not the only one that is like the awesome artist in the family. There's so many other cousins in my family that are artists, that are singers, that are painters, and that are drawers. Like, they all have potential and beautiful gifts. And, some are just practiced hobbies. Yeah, some of them just are. Like, that little thing that you do is just a practice hobby. But then there's some things that are just like, you are so passionate about it. Like, you are literally letting this be your life and you're showing up for it. And that is what I'm saying, is like that thing where it's like, yo, you really want this. I can tell. But there might be a block that somebody might be feeding you and molding you that can limit you. And it's nobody's fault to the limitations or even the mindset that a person has or that's feeding their child. Because, like, let's say for my family dynamic and the way that my mom has showed up versus the way that my dad showed up. My mom always showed up in this place of like, you can do it, go and do it, like, push yourself, like, go and do it. That's why I even went to school for film, because she was like, go ahead, boom, like, anything you wish you can do, right? But then I had my dad on the other side that was like, I wish you would be a doctor. I wish you would, be something more known and like practice more, and that could actually make you money and actually maybe save lives in a way that has been shown and proven. So even with just one parent pushing me, I've able to like make it this far and really believe in myself. But that other parent not being able to push just as far, like, that is a transformation of beliefs that I had to work through and heal from, because I had to also allow myself to accept that and forgive myself for anything that I allowed another to let me believe. And that has been a lot of what my healing journey has been about, is like the father dynamic I've shared multiple times, is this father-daughter duo that I am continuously bringing into the forefront of my story and the way I move. But yeah, I feel that your investment in your creativity is really what matters. It's your time and energy that accumulates and feeds it, because you're so passionate about it. Then it feeds you back. That is where we can actually start to see currency and money flow. And from a place where we may not see it right away, right? Like, even when we're in school, if we're going to school to be an engineer or we're going to school to be a doctor or nurse, like, we're not going to see the money right away. We're going to like literally have to invest in it, invest in that program, invest in the schooling. And the same goes for your art, investing in that thing that you've yet to have that's going to make you that money back, or like give you that energy back. It's that giving and receiving that you're practicing with your art, with your creativity, or just even with your lifestyle, even with your friendships, your relationships, your lover, even your car. Like, you're investing in these things that are going to actually bring you energy back into your life and bring you back the things that you need to watch and see your life blossom and bloom. So this leads into me wanting to share what I'm talking about when I say investing in your art and then watching it feed you back. And I just watched this movie called One of Them Days with SZA and Keke Palmer. This movie is hilarious, and it really just is a funny movie all around, of the actors and the scenarios that they're going through and what they have to do to be able to make ends meet and make money and pay for their rent. I don't want to spoil it too much, but if you happen to watch it, tell me how you like it, honestly. But there is a part in the movie that really has me like put these puzzles together of like just investing your time and energy. And in the movie, the specific scenario, SZA is an artist. That's what her character is portrayed as. And she pretty much is a painter. She has all these beautiful canvases of like paintings that she's done, and they just kind of like lie there laying around. And the whole time, like Kiki Palmer's character is like giving breadcrumbs of like, girl, you're an artist. Like this stuff could sell and really be seen. And she's, as an artist, is like, yeah, I know I do this, but it's not like, she's not as confident in her art. She just like, it's just a hobby per se. And throughout the journey, they're having to like get money, as I said, for their rent. And towards the end, the idea that they have is like, oh, you could sell your art pieces. And so SZA's character is kind of like, and like, I don't know if I really want to do this. Like, I don't know. I'm not as confident as I would like to be in selling my art pieces. And so, anyways, long story short, this girl, SZA's character, ends up selling all her art pieces for like $300 to like $500. And she basically is made the investment of being able to show up for her art and taking her time with these paintings and having this communion with each and every one of them, that they became so valuable and they sold for a beautiful price to even just start off with as an artist and feel like it is worth. Somebody saw the worth of those paintings and decided, yeah, like hell yeah, I'd pay $300. That was like the first painting she was like gonna sell. And then she has like a whole art show, people show up, and then what do you know, she has this whole connection of meeting other artists and now almost getting into this art gallery. So it goes to show, just even in this movie, that like there is beautiful synchronicities that occur in alignment, because spirit, the universe, has got your back. It's not going to leave you hanging if you actually invest in yourself. It's not going to like literally be like, all right, you're all on your own. Like, spirit's not going to do that. Like, spirit is going to be there for you. When I say spirit, yes, I'm talking about like the divine energy. I'm talking about God. I'm talking about the universe, like actually being like, we are supporting you. You may not see the beautiful currency of money being there on the forefront, but don't give up your damn dream, because that dream of what you have and what your lifestyle looks like and what your dream job looks like and what your relationship looks like or your lover, like you are going to get that. You're going to see it coming back to you. And what this might look like, if it's not money per se, but say you're trying to actually call in, again, a relationship, a lover, or even an adventure, or whatever you're trying to actually manifest, it starts with what you have and what feels good for you. So, just for example, now just going into like maybe a relationship role, if you were trying to attract that lover, love yourself and invest in your self love, invest in your self care, give yourself the time you need to really sit with you and to really get in tune with this place of like, if my lover were here, we'd be indulging in this. I love myself so much that this is what my partner's gonna look like. This is the same for your creativity, for your pursuing your creativity to actually give you currency and actually feed you back. It's like that manifestation of like, oh yeah, you support me. This creative project supports me. And now we just work together, dancing and moving and grooving because we love one another, and we start to see that this giving and receiving is an actual manifestation. So this works in all areas of life. This isn't just a mentality for the actual creator of a project of some sort or an artist feeding their passion. This goes for you feeding the passion of anything in any category. So I felt like that movie in that little sequence was just like on point of like how we invest time and energy and we don't get it right away, because it doesn't work like that. Like, it's kind of like your savings. You get this like whole savings within your project, within your relationship. You're like, okay, we're investing, we're just giving it all it needs. And then boom, an explosion, an alignment of energy, and the stars aligning, the planets aligning, all for you in this moment to have the right people, the right place, the right timing for it all to come together. And there will be doubters, because even in the movie, SZA had doubters. Like, even Keke Palmer was her doubter of like, you say you're an artist, like, what else are you like doing with your life? Like, come on, get up. Like, you have to have a plan. And with artists, you kind of just go with it. You kind of see where creativity takes you, because it's a co-creating thing. It's not just you doing this yourself. Like, when you're co-creating, you are channeling in this divine energy. You get this ping, this aha moment, like, oh yes, this is exactly what I feel rushing through my body that I need to like actually do. And put the brush to the canvas. Pick the colors that feel very in tune with what you're feeling. That is the same that goes for, again, anything that you are basically creating in general, whether that be, again, the relationship, the manifestation of like a material object, or even the career, the lifestyle, anything. That is all that alignment of feeding it. So I hope this message finds you well of what I'm sharing here about actually feeding your dream, even if it feels like there may not be any results. You got to feed it. You got to feed it with what you know and with what you have. And just a last little conclusion to what I'm sharing also too with my not my brother, my cousin, is that because I am a part of his bloodline and I am here like being this advocate, I can also share this and show up and know and support that his dream is just as valid. And our parents will mold us and we will still probably follow that route. But I feel like even just me showing up, me sharing this, and maybe him coming across this, maybe his mom coming across this, maybe anybody of my family coming across this, or maybe this is a reflection of somebody else going through the same scenario. I hope that you give words of encouragement to the artist inside, the artist that has potential to pursue art as actual success, equaling money, equaling time and investment happening into this gift. Because we might not actually be around somebody that actually has pursued it. Maybe we've seen somebody within the down the road of like a lot of artists, for example, we see that don't actually get the opportunity to pursue it, right? Like, there's a lot of fallen artists that don't end up making it right away, or they just start to distort the illusion of life and reality. But that is what the creator does. The creator makes the impossible, the out of the wild type of ideas really move life. They really get us to have this whole other experience, this outer experience, even if it's just for a moment that's supposed to happen or for a lifetime. We don't let the artists become destroyed. We let the artists and the creators still do their thing. We support it just as much as we'd support somebody wanting to become a doctor, somebody wanting to become an engineer. Like, give them that support, but just also know that their dream is not probably a hobby. Like, their dream is probably like what they do and what they truly want to be and live and breathe in. So let's support one another's dreams, because honestly, at the end of it all, we respect one another's opinions. And, that is for our own journey to be able to be discerning and put a period on like, this is where others end and where I begin, or vice versa. But in the meantime, we can still give even the babies and the young children time and space to develop and know that their art and their creativity is just as valuable. And through that adjustment, we can help our ancestors and our own mindset adjust and change so it can match. And we can all make this dream happen. We can all actually, at the end of it all, end up being the ones to actually not make the hobbies be hobbies, but make them actually be what we live and do. That is really the intention and the goal, right? Is to actually be able to manifest something that might have been a hobby into what we can do every day and be every day, not just on the weekends or when we have time, you know? So it's really just that adjustment of the lens that everyone can indulge in. So I hope this message finds you well and that you are able to create today. If you haven't already, I believe in this idea of watering 1% of your creativity, 1% of what you are trying to bring into this reality, and showing up for it. Whatever is really floating your boat, like get into it and let yourself float away and surrender. If you would like to hear more about being in your essence, be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Essence of Riss. You can also subscribe and follow on my YouTube channel or on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And I'll see you in the next one.